We good?
It got up to 60 before it was done, but last 2 days, I had to cover my plants because they would have froze.
Poor guy.
Yep, I know it.
All right, we're going to call the meeting to order. Any citizens' input? And the time is 5:50. 5:50. No citizen input. Any delegations? We're going to try and buzz through this, Mark, because we got a basketball game going on in the Corn Palace, so.
Okay,
Motion to approve minutes from our
November 13th.
November meeting.
Yep.
Second. Joel? Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Financial reports.
So since it's November and December, unless somebody has questions on November, I won't go over that.
No.
Okay. So for December, we ended up at 602,000 total revenue for the year. For expenses,
That's on the golf course.
on the golf course, yes.
That's worthy of a golf clap.
Yeah. So net, as of now, we're at 21,511. Part of that is the new, second greens mower came in and the extra set of reels. So we actually paid off $155,000 worth of equipment for the year. So technically that was for the year before, but it's still all in this year's expenses. So memberships were up. Pretty much most all categories were up. So does anybody have any questions or want anything?
So we finished in the good for the year after we paid everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
For expenses, we're a little bit higher. A vast majority of that was Eric's contract. So as we do better, he does better. So there are some categories that were up. The tractor rental was in there, so that skewed it a little bit. I did not spend any money on seed and trees, knowing that some of the other expenses were up, and knowing what we have coming next year, I didn't get any of that. So that's about it for the golf course. Oh, why isn't that? Oh, cemetery. The only thing on the golf and the cemetery out of the ordinary for bills was a water heater and the greens mowers. So if you guys want me to go, if you want to go through that stuff, we can.
No.
Okay. And I apologize, I didn't get back until late, so I didn't have a chance to go through this. I guess anything on financials?
Looks great. Good year.
Okay. I guess I'll leave the Eric stuff till he gets here. I guess we can go to my report then.
We need approval of financials?
Oh, yeah.
I just had one, I was just looking it up here. Matt, can you go to the expenses on the golf course a second? And as long as Stephanie's here, I just had a question.
I knew I wouldn't get away
That's
for
what you
free.
get. Go to the expenses. We talked about this at the last meeting, and we didn't really have an answer for it. And I don't know if maybe if you listened or not, but the, where was that at? The money that is going for phase 2 showed up against us on our expenses.
It hasn't been transferred yet from general fund. Michelle just did that today. So it should have showed up in your revenue as a transfer in from general fund, or it might be on the very bottom of these sheets, Jason, where it says other financing sources. Go up one. Does that say sources or, can I come up to your computer because I'm blind? Okay, so that other financing sources there for $550,836 remaining balance, it just hasn't been transferred yet.
Oh, okay.
So she'll be doing that. Actually, she did it today. So then that'll have a zero balance, but that's actually a revenue, not an expenditure.
Okay,
It just shows below because it's not actually revenue, it's a transfer from a different fund.
okay. Because I think when we looked at it in November, it was listed as an expense, wasn't it?
I thought it was in parentheses.
You were right.
Yeah.
Which means that it was
It means
against.
it's
But now
against.
it's not.
Yeah, she's correcting that today. I asked her about it too.
Okay.
So it's been done.
Good.
And you'll still have more bills coming out of this budget because there's one more claim cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, no problem there. Good.
But I should have said this too, though, the transfer that she did out of general fund will still show as part of 2023 cash. So it'll show in your ending revenue for 2023.
Gotcha.
I'm glad you were here.
Yeah.
So then we really killed it.
Yeah, you'll have to copy more, yeah.
Big parentheses.
All right, motion to approve financials.
So moved.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 I can do mine while he's.
Do yours.
Okay. So we hauled in a bunch of dirt that was available from a different project in the city. I got about 450 yards. At the last, one of the last council meetings, we had the equipment package approved for 2025. And that would be 4 pieces of equipment. Doing some shop cleanup and just kind of winter stuff. Second greens mower showed up with an extra set of reels. Getting ready for the new set of grinders. We cut down 51 trees and now we got them mostly cleaned up, but not all like we wanted to. We did some new lighting in the shop. The cemetery, finished up block work in the east ditch. Installed new water heater, fixed dumpster, a bunch of odds and ends stuff. There was some issues with the cemetery mapping with the upload time. I think they've got that fixed now, so it's really moving along now. So hopefully they'll be done here shortly. We're working with monument companies to donate headstones for the infant section. So when we have one, the one monument company will donate, and then the next time the other one will. So trying to finish up a lot of odds and ends, doing kind of analysis of all the blocks, so we know exactly how many are available in each block. So that's kind of a process. So other than that, anybody got any questions?
Looks good. Anything on the cemetery side?
No, that end was the cemetery.
What's that?
That end part was the cemetery.
No, I was asking.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, they do. Yep,
Very.
yep,
All right. Thanks, Jason.
yep.
And Eric?
Clubhouse report, we'll just back up, kind of review from November, open back up November 4th and 5th, way back when it got nice out, got cold, had good play up until that. Last day of play was November 16th, so, I mean, that's one of the longer years we had, and we have had a pretty mild winter, but overall, great year. With the later start, April 10th opening up, revenue was up from last year, and golf in general, from everybody playing, young, old, to non-golfers, to new golfers and stuff, so hopefully that continues into the coming years as we go. It says having, but I had my pro shop sale, Christmas sale at the clubhouse. During December, I had 3 days I was open for December, sold a few memberships and stuff for gift certificates for next year and everything, and then sold some of my inventory and still just finishing up, cleaning up around the clubhouse, doing miscellaneous stuff for next year. And then next meeting, I'll probably have a tentative schedule of events list, either next meeting or the March meeting, once I contact all the organizations and people that host tournaments at Lakeview. Rounds for 2023, 25,416, up about, I believe, 1,000-ish from last year. Yeah, a little over up 1,000 from last year. So overall, good year. Also, what we have, we had the state SCGA two-man. Two-man was this year, so that helps on rounds too. Guys can play practice rounds when we host a big event like that. If you want to get into me and Jason kind of looked into that credit card 3% processing fee like other businesses do. For us to do it with Clover, there's a way to do it that we pay an extra fee to do it, and it's just on credit cards. There is a way to manually do it where you can manually put it on. You add 3% to a credit card, debit card, but then you have to take that off every cash transaction, put it back on for every credit card transaction. So it would be a retail nightmare from the standpoint, yes, on slow days when there's not many people. We have a tournament where there's 100 people coming through and one person uses credit card, the next uses cash. It's another step for us to get the person what they need and stuff. So I mean, it's doable, but it's just not very user friendly, and we have to keep whatever our credit card rate has to be compliant, or we have to use the rate that is what it is to stay within compliance. If that makes sense.
And we went through, I mean, he showed me what you'd have to go through to do all that, and I think it's just, you start getting a tournament or something coming in, and you got a lineup of people, and
It's the same program we got in our bar. It's not as bad as you think. But same exact program, same exact till.
Yep.
And
Do they do the manual?
you gotta add it in. You can get a thing so it adds it in, but then you have to take it off, they pay cash. Same thing, different, only different. Third of your money is cash, 2/3 of your money is credit cards. If the city does $300,000 of business, through credit cards, what was our credit card fee last year? 13,000?
No, 11,000.
12,000.
Down.
Yeah.
Income up and down.
3% on the 200,000 would be another $6,000.
What's that?
At 3% on that 200,000 of that 300,000 will be another $6,000.
I'm assuming from the gross, it's 60 to 70% is credit card use. And, but if you paid 11,000, 66% of that's city money. For the gross, what the golf course does. So it's a pretty huge savings. Pure cash too, no expenses. It's 10 years, 100% of the people will have it. Just matter when I get on board and make the money.
Me and Jason talked too. I mean, we could increase the rates a little bit to offset that 3%, so then we don't have to mess with that.
Increase the rates and keep it. You got double. I mean, you're mixing up two things here. You're mixing up clear profit, and now it's a huge expense. What'd you say, 11,500?
I don't remember exactly. It was in that 12,000 range.
This year it's almost up to 13.
Yeah.
Makes no difference to me. Just telling you. You start going to construction, income starts going down August 1. And with the dues all being in, credit card fees, I'd have to look per month, but I'm assuming your April and May is huge. Because they're either spreading out their payments or they're getting their points.
Well, so, and another part of that is, so if, like, somebody come in and got a candy bar and they put it on there, it's 25 cents and then the 3%, so that's, so.
But wouldn't it be more complicated, you know, in your situation, it's all one entity. Here we've got the retail side, we've got the golf course side.
Don't matter.
Not a-
It's no different than how they're doing it now.
If we did the 3%, it would be, or whatever the 2 point, whatever rate would be, it would be on everything.
Every credit card and debit
Yes,
card,
It
so
wouldn't just be on select items, memberships, green fees, card fees, range fees, pop, candy, it would be across the board.
Yeah.
If we did it.
Yeah, you'd have to.
it's 3% on all credit card or debit card uses. And now they do it, and Eric pays it all, the city reimburses the half,
Yeah.
which is wrong, because he should get reimbursed 66%. You know, he's paying some of the cities 3%. And,
Well,
as part of his contract, all works out in the wash, so I mean, it's.
I guess my recommendation would be until we have a full board here, let's table the discussion on this for a future meeting leading up to next year. Unless somebody wants to move on it.
We don't really have it on,
It's
Oh, it's not on the agenda, it's just a discussion.
yeah, just discussion.
Right, it kind of took care of itself then.
Yep.
For now.
So after that discussion, all I've got is the rounds played, membership numbers, punch cards, range punch cards. You guys can look through that. If there's any questions or about the year or anything leading up to the spring of 2024.
Well, we've said it before, you guys have done a fantastic job out there, and it's going to be interesting with the construction and stuff and how things are going to play out there, but I think when we're done, we're going to have a really good product, and I think you guys will navigate through that pretty well. We're not going to close the course, so it's just going to be some late season hiccups. Okay. Thanks, guys. Private card policy,
So how I came up with this, kind of the explanation of it, and then essentially it still gives us the leeway to make a decision, and it's not a full set of rules. This is exactly what you got to do, or what exactly qualifies or doesn't qualify. The main ones I put down are non-aggressive tread tires, no all-terrain tires allowed, no carts that exceed 20 miles per hour. The motor of the golf cart must shut off when the pedal is released. Radios are intended for use in the golf cart and should not interrupt other golfers' enjoyment. So we did that just as, all right, this is kind of what we're kind of worried about, but then it also gives me myself and Eric the authority to say yay or nay, so. I looked at going into a lot more detail, but this is a little bit broader and it just. Yep, so.
What is a radio intended for use in a golf cart?
So, just so it's not heard from 300 yards away. So we've got a couple individuals that really like to, and there's been, yep, and you should be able to hear it from within the cart or within the close vicinity
Right.
and not the whole golf course.
It's tough to define, but you'll know when you hear it.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, I get that. What I'm wondering is, you know, like I have a radio in mine,
Yep.
right? But like also don't blare it,
Yep.
right? But it has the ability to
Oh,
be
yeah.
blared.
Yeah.
So like, would you say, no, you can't bring this?
I would never say that somebody can't bring it.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm just saying that not everybody wants to hear it.
Yep, gotcha. So you would police it when it happens?
Yeah.
Not necessarily
Yep.
you'd say,
Yep.
can't bring it here?
Yep.
Gotcha.
Nope.
Okay.
The only way I'm going to say you can't bring it is if they abuse it and they just don't adhere to what we're asking them to do.
Yep, perfect sense.
Yep.
Because this would apply to our carts too.
Yep.
Because all the Bluetooth
Yep.
stuff that's out there, the speakers,
Yep.
yeah, it can get annoying.
And some people don't mind, but some people just really don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
So,
I can name one for you, Joel.
so.
Familiar.
And this was a discussion on this, just in case if you wanted to change something. So this is what I'm proposing. If anybody has an issue with it or wants something changed, we'll bring it to the next meeting.
It's good to me.
Yeah, I don't think you want to get much deeper than what you have there.
Yeah.
Or else
And
you're-
like I said, I looked at it and I talked to different golf courses, and most of them actually just say it's at the manager or the superintendent's discretion.
Right.
And
So-
if you need to tweak it into the season or the next season, that's still possible. too.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, good.
Is there something in there that says that it's at
yes.
your guys' okay, there, that's the authority to authorize.
Yep.
There we go. Okay. Looks good. All right. Approve the 2024 fees.
Are you looking to adopt those card policy?
No.
Oh,
It's just discussion.
I see that now.
It's an easy mistake. Happens to me
Oop.
quite often. I'm trying to take action on stuff.
So we had kind of discussed the fees, and the 3% was what we kind of discussed last time. We'll continue to discuss that later. But for now, so we wanted to leave the 9-hole and 18-hole alone, add a 9-hole and 18-hole weekend fee. The only other main things that are changed is going from $4 to $5 on the small bucket, $6 to $8 on the large bucket, which in turn changes the 10 bucket and 25 bucket from 54 to 72 and 100 to 150. And those are on the same, we take this many buckets and you get so many free. So it's same basis, just off those dollar amounts. So we did raise the 9-hole punch card slightly because of the 20 or the higher weekend fee to kind of balance that out. Same with the carts, punch cards for the 9-hole and 18-hole punch cards. We raised them. And then the single range and the family range, we upped that a little bit also. Locker rent fee of $35 from $32. And Eric collects all the handicap card fees because that's more on his end, but we have that in here. He was going to raise that to $35 to cover his end. The cemetery rates we left alone because we did some fairly significant on some of the items last year. And then we'll probably look at the grave space and for next year, so. So that would be it for the changes. And some of those we kind of left alone just strictly because of the project going on, figuring there's going to be a little bit of disruption, so we didn't want to, hopefully people look at it as we're not, give them a little bit of a break for this year, and then next year we'll look at it again.
What his law? Just that.
Yep.
Or no?
Yeah. Just a bit here.
I didn't want to go.
So,
Okay, need a motion to approve,
Jeff, you're
Yep.
gonna have to turn that mic back on, because if he's on the phone, he does have to yea or nay for the votes.
was that how he's listening to us too? Just through that mic?
Well, that's how would he respond.
Right.
Because we're recording,
Yep.
so.
Yeah. So you can turn it back on now for the motion. You haven't said anything, Joe. Are you on now? So.
Yes.
Entertain a motion to approve the 2024 fees for golf course.
So moved.
Second.
And Joe. Any discussion? Okay. All those in favor of approving that, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. They're set in stone. Approve the 2023-25 Clubhouse Managers Agreement.
so the only thing that changed on this, and that was when we said it last year, was just the ability to change the dollar amount on it. So if, essentially it was a 3% increase, so. So nothing else changed. A lot, those corrections were made last year, so it's all the way on the bottom. So it goes to 58,440. So that was the only change. I take that back, there was one date on there, so.
Okay, and you guys have had that discussion together and everything's good on your end? Okay. So we need a motion to approve the Clubhouse Managers Agreement. Terry,
Second.
Joel, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. It is set. Okay. In accordance with SDCL 125-2, 1 personnel, and 4 preparing for contract negotiations. I'll move.
Second.
And Joel? Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye.